Hello and welcome to a Star Citizen CitizenCon expectation podcast with Zinnia and me. Say hello, Zin.
Hello, Zin.
I said the first time we tried to record this, the lovely Zinnia. So I'll say that again. With the lovely Zinnia. Say hello, Zin.
Hello, Zin.
They are perfect. You see? I'm a gentleman. So, CitizenCon 2021 is very close. It, at time of recording, is about 10 days away. It's on the 9th of October, and me and Zin are planning to cover at least some of the event. We have no idea how long it's going to be on the day, but Zin did say to me earlier, actually it's probably not going to be as long as we think it is because some of it's pre-recorded and it's a digital event, so that makes it much more likely that it will be a lot more efficient than a physical event. That was your reasoning, wasn't it? That was your thinking.
Yeah, something like that.
So close enough.
It's not going to... Well, you'd hope it won't have any of the problems that a live show would have. But you never know.
Well, it can be tested and drilled a lot more. They're on their home turf. They've got some of these stuff pre-recorded. I'd hope that if something goes wrong, they can go, actually, we've got some disaster recovery sort of plans on the cards. So hopefully it will go well. As it's a CitizenCon, as it's a Star Citizen live event, or at least partly live event, we are expecting something to go wrong at some point. So that we can always look forward to that, even if it's just a cringe moment.
But they can always just play our advert on repeat if they need to, and people will be entertained. So,
yes, one of the things that was a competition for this year's CitizenCon was to do 45-second clips of in-game adverts or lore or sort of something that's in lore in-game for CitizenCon to be played between the presentations. So hopefully mine and Zin's will get picked to be seen from that. But I think a lot of people's will be seen. But I also know that they had a huge amount of entries. So I will just cry if ours doesn't get picked because we're funny. It was it was good.
It was good.
It was good. So we're not going to be doing the whole event live unless it's short. So we'll probably go for like 4 to 6 hours at a live stream, and we'll sort of be rebroadcasting the live stream as it happens and talk about what's happening and that sort of stuff. So it'll be a bit of an analysis while we're watching it. The reason I don't want to do the whole thing if it's long is because I also want to get summaries and videos out during the day. And at the end of the day, if we're just watching it, I want to be adding value and sort of experiencing that with my community rather than just sort of a lot of the stuff you can just watch and you'll want to watch and you'll want to listen to, like the Tony Zorovic presentation. That was going to be about the sort of systemic gameplay and the dynamic universe simulation. That's something you might want to watch twice. It's something I want to watch at least twice so that I can make a video on it. Have you seen any of the Tony Zorovic stuff? Did you see the 2019 presentations in?
I think I've been made to watch it before.
You have? I made you watch it.
About the quanta and stuff in order to understand what's going on.
Yes. And obviously you've probably used some of the footage before in some videos.
Yeah.
Okay, so anything that you think I should make Zin watch, Star Citizen-wise, please, you can put it in the comments below. I'll go, Zin, watch this! That's her job. That's her job. That's her job now. Okay, so yeah, we'll be covering that. Feel free to watch us live. When we do that, it'll be throughout the day on the 9th of October, and then you can expect lots of summaries and videos to come out. Do you want to talk about last year's CitizenCon, 2019 CitizenCon, last time we actually had a CitizenCon, or do you want to talk about the schedule for 2021?
Well, I can't really say much about the last CitizenCon because I didn't really experience it, so...
And you weren't working for me then either, were you?
No.
So it was a physical event in the UK, in Manchester. I went to it. It was absolutely fantastic. But it was throughout the whole day. There were 2 stages going on. And they were only showing one live, the main stage, and the sort of sub-stage, we could only really experience it if you were there, and we'll sort of build that into some of the stuff for the schedule for 2021, because the best thing that I saw, there's 2 things. There was prison life gameplay, so the new prison gameplay and stuff was shown on the second stage at 2019, and that was really cool because they talked about what prisons were, what they were trying to do, the reason that they have the law system in game and how they're going to evolve it. And a lot of that stuff is still to come. So we actually saw quite a lot of the future in 2019 CitizenCon that has yet to be sort of in game yet. And we also had a ship talk, which we're going to have another ship talk at 2021, and that talked about a load of ships that had yet to be made in game but were concepting, and now they have been put in game. So this is things like the Talon, like the Rock, the what other ship? Thank you, Zin. And the mobile refinery, which is yet to be put in game, but we know it's being built out and may even be revealed at CitizenCon or the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. But yeah, so 2019, fantastic. Really liked the gameplay demo. And actually, that's where we should probably start. So schedule for 2021 was revealed for CitizenCon. We don't know the times beyond it's at, is it 3 p.m. UTC that CitizenCon starts?
Let me double check. I hadn't even opened the link. Oh, jeez.
What?
That's a loud website.
Oh yeah, it's Chris Roberts walking on stage, isn't it? Wow. Like
3
an angry
p.m.
cat.
UTC.
So local time, that'll be 4 p.m. in the UK because we're in BST at the moment, British summertime.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what time is that in the Americas.
It depends which coast. They're usually are they -6 to 8, something like that?
Yeah, but around that, between 5 and 7. That sounds about right. The event is starting and closing with something from Chris Roberts. So the chairman himself, Chris Roberts, kicks off this year's event, and he's also returning to take us home. Now, what does that mean? Well, we don't know if it's going to be a little tiny thing just to start and end the whole show, or if it's going to be like 2019's, where it will be a keynote, sort of a core pillar roadmap update where he talks about where the game's come from, where it's going, the plans for the next couple of years, and this is what I'm hoping, because it's not mentioned elsewhere, I don't think, in the schedule, a gameplay demo. So this is basically what we get every year at CitizenCon. They show a gameplay demo of near-future gameplay and a load of new cool core mechanics and that sort of stuff in a much more focused, stable environment. It's LAN. They don't need to have all the components done properly. They don't need to have everything working correctly. They can have some of it faked. They can have a lot of it sort of like, you know what, this mission just needs to look like it works. So yeah, there's a little bit of hand-wavium and magic going on there, but it is supposed to sort of show near-future gameplay, and hopefully they've got it in their heads now that they need to show near-future gameplay. They need to go, this is actually going to be in your hands. This is real. This is going to be real. So what do you think we might see in a gameplay demo, Zin? And do you think we'll actually see a gameplay demo in the opening or closing?
I'm not sure because of the new development structure.
Yeah.
I mean, if you read the actual website, it says takes you on a guided tour of the current in-game universe.
So that's actually a different panel, a different thing. So Life in the Verse is this year's biggest panel. Takes you on a guided tour of the current in-game universe. Join the developers who bring it all to life to explore locations, systems, and gameplay and more. So that's going to be with Ian Leyland, the art director, Todd Pappy, big hitter, the live director, David Haddock, the narrative director, and some of the other core people I would expect. But do you think that's going to be the gameplay demo? The Life in the Verse is actually...
Yeah, bam. I don't think there's going to be anything like new like you saw it in 2019.
What?
I know, right?
No, I need to be hyped. I need to set people's expectations high so they can jump off a cliff of expectations. Okay, well that is. I almost expect a gameplay demo of some cool stuff, new ship, sort of pyro and Nick system being shown off, or something like that. An animal being shown off, a new mission. That's the sort of stuff I expect from CitizenCon. And if I don't get that, I think I'll be sad.
I think there will be new stuff, but I don't think you should get your hopes set that high.
Zin, but my hopes are that high. CitizenCon is the biggest thing of the year by far.
If there is anything new, I don't think they're gonna. I think it'll be a sudden drop, unexpected. Suddenly, jumping through a gate to pyro. And look, there's pyro, and not just like they had in 2019.
Yeah, okay, because pyro is pretty much faked, and it was a very early look at jump gates. And we do know that they've been working a lot on pyro and Nyx. We do know that they've been working on a load of other content, including animals and that sort of stuff. So, I mean, it could be more minor. It could be let's show off a little bit of something that's a new mission we've been working on. Here's a new ship and some of the new gameplay area. I mean, it may but I would love to see like salvage and repair and refueling, even if it's just sort of early semi-faked. But I think you're right. I think try not to get your hopes up. It is going to be somewhat a surprise. There'll be probably a couple of wow moments. And it's quite possible that Life in the Verse is actually the gameplay demo or the version of it for 2021, rather than there being a gameplay demo with the opening and closing.
Yeah, I think the opening with Chris is just going to be a him chatting, basically.
So probably something like, this is where Star Citizen started, this is where it is now.
This is where we hope to go.
Yeah, so a little
something Squadron 42.
Well, do you think there's going to be anything Squadron 42 at this year's CitizenCon at all?
I hope so.
I mean, I hope so too, but there's nothing on any of the panels that suggests that.
No.
I mean, I say that. I mean, a lot of this stuff here is obviously shared by Squadron 42. I say a lot. The Vulcan stuff. Actually, there's not much. Potentially the planetary tools. Some of the server meshing panel, although server meshing is not important for Squadron 42 really. Some of the tech that's part of that is Sounds of Space. And I don't suppose this systemic gameplay stuff isn't. I mean, it does connect to a lot of systems. But yeah, it's not hugely Squadron 42 focused CitizenCon anyway. Normally, like it is a Star Citizen, mostly persistent universe focused thing. So I'd say don't get your hopes up about Squadron 42. But at some point, I'd hope that they start a traditional advertising campaign for Squadron. I mean, I'd love to see Squadron at the end of next year. I hope there is. I think that it's sort of starting to push their luck if it's going to be 2 or more years before Squadron 42. Well, what do you think? Do you think Squadron 42 in the next 2 years, within the next 2 years, the next year?
I'd like it as soon as possible. It's one of the things that I'm actually really looking forward to.
Well, I'd like it as soon as possible. I think we all would.
Yeah. I'm kind of hoping for a sudden, oh yeah, it's ready.
Okay.
Like probably not CitizenCon, but at some point it's just going to be like, oh yeah, and by the way, we finished Squadron 42.
We know that Chris Roberts is going to the UK either end of this year or beginning of next to help finish out Squadron 42. We do know that we're going to start to see Squadron 42 advertising and stuff, and them talk about the development a lot more as it gets closer to completion. Because they don't want to burn out, they don't want to have nothing to show. They want to start showing. When they start showing Squadron 42 stuff, it's going to be the road to it being released, sort of thing. Yeah, hopefully Squadron 42 something at CitizenCon, but don't hold your breath on that. Let's talk about the technical panels. So there's a panel on the Gen 12 renderer and Vulcan. There's one on server meshing and the state of persistence, and there's one on planetary tools. So that's a big chunk of the content being shown and talked about at CitizenCon, and it's all sort of like technical stuff, really.
It's the stuff we gloss over in the monthly reports.
Yeah, but it's going to be interesting because at CitizenCon, really, I don't want to be just told. I want to be shown, not told, and I want to be wowed. I want to be like, oh, that's pretty, that's cool, oh, this is interesting.
That's
but
probably what you'll get.
I hope so. Like
lots of pretty and wow, not just talking and.
I don't want to see slides on the Gen 12
points.
renderer of how multi CPU parallelization works. Yeah? And I think there might be a little bit of that, you see, that's the problem. But if they go, oh look, this is the Gen 12 renderer, this is what it allows us to do, and then show some videos of with or without, and look at the scaling of the stuff we can do with rendering more stuff on screen, and better looking effects, and the frame rate boosts, and it's going to work on a lot more systems, and make use of CPUs are much better, and your CPU's not going to implode, then I'll be a lot happier. Planetary tools and stuff, I want to see new biomes, I want to see pretty stuff, I want to see roads or rivers being made.
Yeah, I think we'll probably get rivers first.
Yeah.
Because they can be more procedurally or like organically generated, whereas obviously roads will have to have some thought placed.
To where they connect and what they go over. Yes, so and we've seen some of the river tech before, and I think if you look on the roadmap on the progress tracker, you can see that rivers and roads were split up, and it was rivers and river basins being produced together, and they appear to, I believe, going to be done before roads. Stuff like that would be cool to see. I mean, we might see new points of interest, things like that. We might see some of the new biomes. cool. But it is more of a tools panel, is what it appears to be, because you see the guys here that are actually part of the presentation. It's the president of technology and engine programmer, tools programmer, engine and tools programmer, engine programmer. There's lots of engine programmers and stuff, so much more technical. And then you've got the server meshing one. Now, we all want server meshing in game. We want Star Citizen to be an MMO. And what can they actually really show us? Maybe they've got some tests they can show with headless clients, or maybe they can go, well, actually, we pre-recorded with the whole studio connecting to a server together. Something like that would be amazing. Is it just going to be them talking about server meshing and going, it's really important, and it allows us to do this, and this is how server meshing's evolved. Okay, when's it going to be done? We don't know, and we do know that we're waiting for Tier 0, or the first implementation of server meshing to get Pyro, basically, and I'm hoping we see that in the middle of next year. Could we see some cool stuff that they could show us there with server meshing? Yes. Will they? I'm unsure. I suppose one of the panels I want to see the most is ship talk, and we sort of alluded to this earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So this time, they've said, in this year's ship talk presentation, John Crew, Ben Curtis, and Paul Jones reveal new and upcoming ships. So that new ships, and Star Citizen's entire monetization model, delve into their journey through production, and they provide some much anticipated updates about a fan favourite vessel. So, let's start with a fan favourite vessel.
What, you mean the Argo Cargo?
No! Zin, you said you'd never mention it again. Pineapple on pizza is wrong. Okay, no, that's it's going to be
They're talking about a fan favourite. I thought we'd established that is the Argo Cargo, right?
So, I would expect a fan favourite vessel would probably be referring to the Polaris, or the Bounty Merchantman. That would be my expectation of what they're going to update us on.
What if it's the Redeemer?
Well, the Redeemer's going to be in 3.15. That's possible. It could be the Redeemer. I mean, it could be anything. We don't know. And the fan favourite, it could be the Argo Cargo, or it could be an Argo MPUV variant, even. Like
the Argo Pizza Carrier.
Oh my god. So now we were talking about this. Fifth Element, food truck, out of an Argo Cargo or an Argo MPUV. Yeah? I think it's a good idea. Have a little sort of Benny's Noodles van that can float up to people's houses, do some sales. Get out of there. Done. Easy game. Give me fishing and cooking as mechanics. It's an MMO, right? But so, with the new upcoming ships, what do you think we might see? Is it going to be the ships we've had rumoured over the last year? Or is it going to be entirely new things?
I think probably rumours.
The rumoured ships. So
yeah.
We've got 400/500i, which might have been the Origin 404 that was made invisible, but we actually think that there was a leak. Then we do actually think the 400i is a thing. There's the Argo Raft, which might be a cargo carrier, but it might also be a mobile refinery, and if it's not, then a mobile refinery is something that might be shown. There's various variants of ships and vehicles that could be turning up. There's the Anvil Longbow, sort of like a capital ship, and I would expect to see a capital ship at Ship Talk. They like to go, here's a capital ship. It could be a variant of capital ship. Last year we got the Kraken Privateer, I think. Not last year, 2019, last CitizenCon. We got the Kraken Privateer. The thing is that capital ships go down really well. They're a big wow factor, and they make a lot of money. Ooh, that money!
I was just going to say, what was that ship was it the Polaris that was on the roadmap and then removed?
Yes, the Polaris.
Maybe there's an update on that.
Well, that's what I was saying. It's I did say the Polaris and the Bounty Merchantman, didn't I? As the
possibly
fan favourite vessels.
You definitely said Bounty Merchantman.
I hope I said Polaris and Bounty Merchantman because those are the two ships I think it was. If I said something else, then maybe that one as well. Maybe. Who knows? I'm trying to think if there's any other ships that have been rumoured. So there is a ship that's been rumoured, potentially from either Cardi Leaks, which we won't talk about, but we could see variants of other ships and vehicles, and we could see a few different things, because if there's a panel dedicated to it, well, we might see ships that they're planning to concept over the next year as well, as some stuff that they released during CitizenCon.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of unannounced ships on the roadmap, isn't there?
Yet to be announced.
Yeah.
The reason I say that is because every time I say unannounced, my brain can't work out what that means. Does that mean it was previously announced and then removed from being announced?
No.
So yet to be
Unannounced
announced.
means it's not been announced.
No, yet to be announced means it's not been announced.
So just unannounced.
Does it? Well,
It's not de-announced.
I want to know. I've denounced it. I want to know what people think in the comments below. With this really weird English problem. It's probably not weird. It's probably just me. Anything you'd like to see shipwise?
No, I'm sure we'll get an update on the Ares, Ion, and Inferno.
Yep. If not already in our hands in some way. So it's possible that they're going to get a first wave PTU or open PTU around CitizenCon as well. 3.15 is in Eva Carti at the moment. Although it's also possible that the Ares and the Redeemer and the A2, any of them might be pushed to a 3.15.x patch. That's a possibility. They're not firmed in on the patch yet. So it's still tentative technically, although the Redeemer does look pretty much complete. Right. Systemic gameplay, stream of thought. This is, if you're only going to watch one other panel other than sort of like the keynote and gameplay stuff, systemic gameplay stream of thought is probably will give you the most information and overview about how Star Citizen's actually going to be an MMO and what they're doing to build super important sort of systems into the game. So Tony Zerovic, who was a genius, leads a panel about upcoming features like selling used items, local inventory, the convergence of the reputation and mission systems, why physicalized cargo is so important, the next couple of dynamic events, and more. Tony will also give an update on how efforts to integrate the first few bits of quantum simulation into the game are proceeding. So we recently did a video talking about a big section of that, the physicalized cargo, selling used items, local inventory, all that sort of stuff, and how some of these systems are going to affect each other. And then we get a lot more context when Tony Zerovic actually tells us how it's evolved. So you've been forced to watch the original Tony Zerovic Quanta simulation stuff.
Yeah.
He recently, I say more recently this year, did another, I think it was in June, did a sort of update on the Quanta system as well. And he sort of followed a pirate around that had attacked a ship, and then he went to Grimhex, and he saw this Quanta, this NPC basically go from being just a probability volume to actually being tracked and then physicalized and then tracked again. But he was like an evolving pirate. He was going around and doing stuff and adding stuff to his criminal record and getting more valuable to actually attack as a bounty and things like that. The Quanta system and the dynamic universe system is sort of so core to Star Citizen, and anything that Tony Zerovic talks about is shown and not just told. That's the joy of these sort of panels that he does. He goes, look at this. This is how the systems works. This is how we are testing it currently. This is how it's evolved. This is what it didn't do before. Was there anything that sort of wowed you about the Quanta and the systemic functions of all this stuff before Zin, or were you just sort of like, well, that's obvious that we need that, rather than being a wow factor?
Yeah, not so much of a wow factor, but that's because I don't really... It's one of those things, I think if you were into coding and that sort of thing, you'd probably find it a lot more interesting. Like the amount of effort that they have to go through in order to make this sort of stuff work.
Yeah.
Whereas I sort of kind of take it for granted, or will take it for granted.
So I have that with games that look pretty. Like I go, wow, this game looks pretty for about, an hour or two. And then I might lower my graphic settings massively because I don't care anymore, because I just want to play the game. I love these dynamic events, sort of gameplay presentations. And I'm hoping that they show us what they've got. And I hope they say this is going to be in the game at some point in the not too distant future. Because otherwise, why are they working on it now? Well, they're working on it now because it's going to take them a long time. Is there anything else that you're hoping to see at CitizenCon at all, Zin? Other than what we previously discussed?
No, but I mean, going along with the systemic gameplay stuff, I'm looking forward to see what future dynamic events they have in store, if we get to see any. Yeah,
I suppose that's a big thing, isn't it? Like, when you play Star Citizen, when the game's complete, you want to be able to jump in the game and do interesting things constantly. If you want to do that. If you want a load of action, if you want to go, oh, there's an event happening over here, bam, I can get involved with that. There's a Xenothreat type event. There's some cool cargo opportunities that I know what to expect in this area because the cargo is so valuable, I'm likely to get attacked by a load of players trying to get the cargo. But if it's sort of like, this is a big empty universe with little to do and it doesn't tell me what to do or what I can do, that's going to be boring. So I think that Star Citizen suffers from the latter currently. It is alpha.
Yeah.
And that's to be expected, quite genuinely. And there are great, cool things. Like, I really enjoyed Xenothreat, but I need 30 other things like Xenothreat all happening at once across different systems that I can get involved with whenever I want for me to be really engaged in Star Citizen, for me to treat it as a proper game. I think that's sort of fair enough. But I think I am hoping that I see a wow factor gameplay demo at CitizenCon. Zin says, don't hold your breath for that. Don't keep your hopes too high for that.
Yeah,
and I think that's probably fair.
I think because it's not a live event, they're probably going to keep more like stuff close to their chest if they can.
See, I think the opposite. That's the odd thing. I think that they can do more because they can try it. They can show it. They can go, actually, we don't have to worry about it crashing.
The thing is, I see it more of a way of getting bums in seats. And they don't need to do that with this, really.
You need to get eyes on screen, though.
Yeah.
Or maybe they don't. Maybe because it's some of it's pre-recorded. It is a live event, but it's going to be viewable almost straight away afterwards, and all the panels are going to be broken down into summaries. So maybe they can go, well, people are going to watch it afterwards anyway. So yeah, actually, that's a good question. Do you think a lot of people are going to watch this live, or do you think most people are going to go, you know what, I'll just watch the panels later?
I don't know. I personally wouldn't bother watching it live usually.
It is quite long. Well, we don't know. We don't know how long it's
but I'd probably pick and choose, or be like, oh, I don't really fancy watching this right now. I'll watch it when I've got an hour spare, while I'm doing my knitting or something.
See, I'm thinking that it's probably going to be around 6 hours this year, looking at the panels and looking at how they can fit stuff in.
Yeah, I'm thinking probably 6 to 8 hours.
Okay.
Like an 8-hour day, that's like a work day, basically.
Not for me, it's not. Maybe for you. The other thing is that there's a free digital goodies pack this year. Digital goodies. Typically, they sell these for like $5 to $10. But this year, we've got some free stuff. And it says backers get this, so I assume you have to have something purchased on your account, not just an account created.
Mm-hmm.
We get some light armor in the Fallout variant, which is sort of red and black with a little gold trim. A RS knife as well, and a CitizenCon 2951 trophy. Cool free stuff to get for free. I don't think it's going to be sort of like the most super wow of stuff.
Free stuff is free stuff, especially if you can use it.
Yeah, I mean, you'll be able to sell this stuff in the future to other backers in game. Might be worth some creds. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to CitizenCon. Me and Zin will be covering at least some of it live, and then a billion, that's an exaggeration, a lot of videos thereafter, and I'm hoping that we see some great stuff. And please tell me what you think we're going to see at CitizenCon this year, what you'd like to see. Do you think we're sort of relatively accurate with some of our predictions? I mean, most of our predictions are based on the schedule, but I'm just interested to know what other people think. And are we going to see a gameplay demo that's sort of like a wow factor demo, or is it going to be more, you know what, this is where we are at the moment, and some stuff from 3.15? Yeah, what have your thoughts? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Say goodbye, Zin.
Goodbye, Zin.
Thanks for watching. Love you guys. See you soon. Peace. Some people say I shill for NordVPN, but listen to some of these comments that I just made up. I've never felt the love of a woman before, but then I got NordVPN, and that didn't matter. Doctor said I'd never walk again, but then I got NordVPN. Now I've been running marathons. Also, I got robot legs around the same time. They might have helped somewhat too. I was a tone-deaf pirate, but after getting NordVPN, I'm able to play the saxophone. Go on, Zin, try and animate all of this. Click the links below to get NordVPN. It might lead you to a more fulfilling life, but more likely, it will just help protect you from the terrors of the internet. Every month we have a ship giveaway. For September, it's for another Mercury Star Runner. I love that ship. It's a great way to try a huge portion of Star Citizen's gameplay. If you want a chance of winning that, just comment on any of my videos made during the month. If you'd like to further support the channel, be sure to check out that join button underneath my videos. There's also links to my Patreon, which also helps loads as well, direct donations, and just commenting, subscribing, liking, all that sort of jazz goes a huge way to helping the channel. Thank you so much for watching, guys. You take care, and I hope to see you in the verse.